Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. It's the final episode of the regular season for season number 2, and to absolutely no one's surprise, the Rockies have been officially eliminated from playoff contention. In theory, we could finish above 500 if we win out the rest of the season, and that would be incredibly impressive from a bad Rockies team. Today we're going to focus on this series against the Cardinals and then sim the rest of the season and prep for the offseason. Welcome back everybody to Coors Field, and welcome back to today's player lock player, Brenton Doyle. We brought him up for September call-ups and he is now the everyday starter in center field once again. It'll be Mike Soroka on the mound today for the Rockies, facing off against Matthew Liberatore. Let's see if we can catch a dub against a former teammate, Nolan Arenado. Here's Doyle's stats in the limited plate appearances he's had: 22 at-bats, 9 hits, 6 RBIs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, batting a .409 with a .417 OBP currently. Obviously, we don't expect that to keep up. And here are his attributes now that he's returned. The discipline has gone up quite a bit. His clutch has also gone up, but his contact is still pretty bad. In fact, he's become a little bit more of a power hitter than he is a contact hitter. Still need to get the plate vision up. It's just a little unfortunate. He is already 26, so I don't think he has much chance to be a super great player, but he is an excellent fielder with a lot of speed upside. And he's back out in center field where he's got the best range on the team and back in his number 9. And this one is going to be a single, and actually the runner's taking off to third. I was not anticipating that, and they are safe over there at third. Rogers hits a 2 RBI home run, and it's 2-0 Colorado. Soroka did not give up a run with runners on the corners there, and we'll see a Brenton Doyle at bat for the first time in quite some time. In my ideal version of this team, Doyle would be my leadoff guy since he's got elite speed as I swing and miss on a low and inside slider to end the second. Fast forward to the bottom of the 5th. Donovan hits a solo home run, and it's 2-1 Colorado. Strike 3 called on the high inside fastball. That was one of those ones that could have gone either way. I should have swung, but I thought it would be called a ball. There's the Cardinals offense. It's now 5-3 as Doyle is back up to the plate here in the 6th. Got a runner on second. Is that Sterling Thompson? It looks like it. Doyle grounds one to third, but it's foul. And that's back up the middle, swatted down by the pitcher. Can Doyle beat out the play? No, just a step late. And Doyle got pinch hit for by Verdugo. He hits an RBI single, and now it's 5-4 and an opportunity to jump in here for the Rockies. 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. It's Ezequiel Tovar at the plate, and I swing at the first pitch because it's an absolute meatball, but he launches it over to the third base side, and that'll end the game. Man, that was a meatball. The timing was good. Tovar's plate vision just wasn't good enough, I guess. He pops it way up, and that'll end the game. The Rockies get a loss and now officially have no mathematical way to finish above 500. Here's the Rockies box score for that game. I unfortunately did not get a hit with Doyle. Thompson didn't get a hit. Rosario did not get a hit. Nolan got 1 hit. Barry Cohen got a couple. Brendan Rodgers got 3. He has been on fire recently. Tovar with a couple hits. Mejia no hits. Jordan Beck with a hit. He's batting .280. Quietly has been very good this year since getting called up. Soroka went 5 full innings, 4 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Cody Hoyer gave up an earned run. Loaizaga no earned runs. Gilbreth no earned runs, but 2 walks. And same with Lambert. So we move on to game number 2 here in the series. It'll be Johan Oviedo on the mound, and this will be the full game. Oviedo has really not been great ever since taking over as a starter. He's 10-6. I want to say he was 10-3 as a reliever. In his previous start, he was listed as a reliever. At least his previous start shown on the channel, which probably hurt his stamina if I had to guess.
1-1.
And he left a fastball right down the middle. Verdugo can only look up at it, and the first batter that Oviedo faces goes a yard. Tommy Edman, only his 9th on the season, gets it over the right field wall, and it's 1-0 St. Louis. Now Harold Ramirez will pop one to center. Easy play for Brenton Doyle, and there is out number 1. Swing and a miss for Jordan Walker. And the first strikeout of the day for Oviedo. Makes it 2 outs in the inning, and it's Nolan Gorman at the plate. Gorman will crack this onto Cohen at first, and there's the 3rd out. So really just one bad pitch from Oviedo to Tommy Edman, not known as a power guy, but he got this one over the wall. It's 1-0 St. Louis. The Rockies face off against Kyle Gibson, and it's Sterling Thompson to lead us off. He's the leadoff hitter against right-handed pitching now. St. Louis Cardinals 80-64 leads the NL Central, so it looks like they are a playoff-bound team, as I'm early on the cutter. Swing and a miss for Sterling Thompson on a high fastball. That's the first strikeout of the day for Gibson. It was good timing, just missed contact, and here's Alex Verdugo, the new number 2 hitter against right-handed pitching, and he grounds the first pitch he sees onto first, and there's already 2 gone. Cracked back up the middle by Nolan Jones, and it won't be a 1-2-3 inning for the Rockies, as our best player reaches first with a single. That brings up Barry Cohen, currently on pace to win Rookie of the Year, facing Kyle Gibson. Got a meatball right down the middle. Did I mistime it? I was very early on the swing. His cutter's a little slower than his other fastball. He's got a 4-seamer and a sinker that sit up at around 94. That is a great pitch. Cohen will ground this onto short, and that is an easy enough play to end the inning for the Cardinals. So still 1-0 St. Louis through 1. Swing and a miss for Nick Gordon. And the first man Oviedo sees goes down on strikes in the second. Looks like Nolan Arenado is either at the bottom of the order or got the day off today. Full count. Oviedo's pitch is inside, and that's ball number 4 to Jose Miranda. That one is straight at Brenton Doyle in center, and that is out number 2. That was some good contact that just unfortunately went right to one of the best fielders in the game. Brings up Dylan Carlson, who is batting .331 on the season. Grounder back up the middle. Doyle not going to be able to do anything to stop this one. Gets it into third quickly, but it's 2 runners on with 2 outs. I feel like one of the downfalls of our team this season has been allowing runs with 2 outs. And that one right down the middle goes to right field, and the runner's taking off for home and is safe. A second run scores for St. Louis, and we keep giving up runs with 2 outs. We did it in the last episode. We're doing it in this episode. This ump is not giving us any calls. There's a grounder onto Barry Cohen, and that will actually end the inning. Yanquiel Fernandez, who has switched to the number 15 from wearing 16. I want to say that Carson Kelly was probably wearing 15, and when he got sent down, Fernandez jumped on the opportunity. Swing and a miss, though, for Fernandez. Goes down on strikes. Here's Brendan Rodgers, maybe the hottest bat on the team right now, since Sterling Thompson has cooled off. Nearly traded him away this season, decided to keep him for 1 more year, and immediately after extending him, Amador got hurt, so it actually worked out pretty well. We're starting to run into an issue where we almost have too much depth, and it's like, where do we bring Amador up when he is ready? Don't get me wrong, it's a great problem to have. Full count for Rodgers, has it popped to right, and it will get over the head of the right fielder, and Rodgers will be able to get into second with what I presume will be ruled a double. Yes, it is. The 27th double on the season for Brendan Rodgers. That also pushes him to a 13-game hit streak. That puts a runner in scoring position for Ezequiel Tovar, one of the RBI leaders on this Rockies team. Got a meatball again and just pops it to shallow center. What is Tovar doing? My timing was good once again there in the bottom left. He just missed it. Samuel Basallo, welcome to the Rockies. The rookie catcher cracks this one to right field on the first pitch he sees on the channel, and it's a 2-run shot. His first home run in his career, actually. I was not anticipating that. I hadn't even gotten the chance to introduce him yet before he just smashes one to right field. That was a liner, nearly 110 off the bat. And Basayo goes deep. He might be the catcher of the future. This first batter that Oviedo faces lines out to Verdugo, who almost errors. You know what would be pretty neat is if MLB The Show added catcher framing as a catcher attribute, since that's such a huge part of the game in real life. Because maybe a catcher with a high framing attribute, if it did exist, would get those two calls, where they were both called balls for me. Pitch 1 and 2 both touched the zone, but were called balls. Face Jordan Walker with a 2-0 count. Oviedo leaves one kind of right down the middle. He's not placing his fastball very well today. In fact, he doesn't have a lot of confidence in it currently. That was a pretty well-placed one, but Walker got a big piece of it. It's going to bounce off the top part of the wall, and Verdugo going to make the play. Walker's headed to third. Rogers' throw is offline. Would have gotten Jordan Walker at third, certainly with an accurate throw. Instead, it is a triple for Jordan Walker. Like, that fastball was right on the corner, if you see there in the bottom left. It's just it allowed him to extend, I guess. That's why you don't throw fastballs away. Would love a strikeout here from Oviedo. Oh my goodness, he swings at that sinker. That is crazy. Strike 3 looking for Nolan Gorman on 3 pitches. Strike 1 on Nick Gordon on a good sinker. His sinker appears to be working better than his regular fastball. This curveball that they want has not been working well, and it just misses the zone. That is a grounder onto Sterling Thompson at third, and we will get out of the third inning with no harm done. Am I crazy, or did Verdugo's number change? I swear he was wearing 24 before and is now 26. I don't know what's up with MLB The Show and changing numbers, but maybe I'm losing my mind. Maybe he's been 26 all season. Did that hit him? It did. Verdugo, a scary pitch up and in, takes his base. Here's Nolan Jones. He's 1 for 1 on the day. Pops a hanging slurve way up in center field, and that's not going to do anything, as Verdugo just has to head back to first. It was such weak contact from Jones, I guess because I was slightly early on the swing. And now here's Barry Cohen. Cohen back up the middle, and that'll be a single for the rookie, getting Verdugo over to second. And now we've got 2 runners on for Yanquiel Fernandez, one of the best RBI guys on the team, recently relegated to only playing against right-handed pitching just due to the amount of depth we have in the outfield with Brenton Doyle on the roster. No balls, 2 strikes to Fernandez, not faring well against Kyle Gibson. And this is a grounder onto second, but it's fumbled with. Can Fernandez beat out the throw? He does. And an E4 is going to allow the Rockies offense to continue. Very fortunate for the Rockies, as it brings up Brendan Rodgers. And he pops this one to straightaway center field. It's still going back, but not enough power. That'll end the third. An opportunity wasted. Pop up for Jose Miranda. Verdugo playing in right now that we have Nolan Jones DHing, and he makes the play. Verdugo's actually a very, very good fielder. So between him and Doyle playing in the outfield against righties, we've got an excellent defensive outfield. Fernandez no slouch over there in left either, just not nearly as good as the other two. Does feel like a little bit of a waste of Nolan Jones's arm talent, but it is what it is. Verdugo's got a very strong arm out there in right as well, so it's not too much of a loss. 2 outs in the fourth. Dylan Carlson at the plate. Oviedo finding some form here. Left a curveball up a little bit, but it just goes straight to Brenton Doyle in center field, and that is a very fast 4th inning. Ezequiel Tovar high and deep to left. I think that one's out of here, and it is. It gets over the 390 marker in left, and Ezequiel Tovar takes the lead for the Colorado Rockies. His 12th home run on the season, 101.4 off the bat, and it's 3-2 Colorado. That's the second time Gibson left a slurve hanging. The first time was to Nolan Jones, who didn't get a hold of it, but Tovar was able to. Basayo pops one to deep center. The center fielder's still going back. and does get under it. But Basayo apparently is getting good contact. Brenton Doyle gets one to hit, pushes this deep to right. Is it out of here? No, it's off the top part of the wall, and Doyle is in with a double. Could have tried to stretch it to a triple, didn't want to risk it. Brenton Doyle on to second. Maybe this is where the Rockies get things going. Brings up the leadoff man, Sterling Thompson. Doyle picked off at second. He was looking to steal third, it looks like, and Gibson was all over it. This was very, very close. I'm not sure if he's actually out there. Unfortunately, no way to challenge the call. So it is just out number 2 for Doyle. I should have just had him try to advance to third when he got the hit. So pop up for Sterling Thompson. That'll end the 4th. So a home run for Ezequiel Tovar takes the lead, but could have been a bit more had Doyle not made the base running error. And that is a walk. Was that a 4-pitch walk from Oviedo? I think it might have been. Our bullpen is very tired, so in all honesty, if we could get a long outing out of Oviedo, that would be ideal. As this is popped up to short for Ezequiel Tovar. The runner's back safely at first. Grounder onto Ezequiel, 6-4-3 double play. The Rockies, one of the best double play teams in all of baseball, get out of the inning. We're on to the 6th, and I would like Oviedo to be able to finish this inning at a minimum. I think regardless of what we see happen here, I'm going to let him go the full inning, just because the bullpen's kind of gassed. Oh no, maybe I spoke too soon. Jordan Walker. High and deep to left, and Fernandez mistimes the jump, and we're tied up. Didn't Jordan Walker homer earlier as well? I can't quite remember. That was only 88 off the bat, and it went that far. That is Coors Field for you, ladies and gentlemen. Walker ties up the game here in the 6th. I feel like I jinxed my man, Johan Oviedo, by saying I'd let him go deep into this inning regardless. I set him up for failure, basically. But I'd like to see him get through this 6th inning. He is once again missing just about every time with his fastball. We might have to go to the sinker to be the heater instead, as people are swinging and missing at that. That is to Sterling Thompson at third, a one-hopper. There's the first out in the inning. Seems like right now the only pitch I can get in the strike zone is Oviedo's sinker. He is missing with everything else. And I mean, even look at the confidence. His fastball he has no confidence in. His slider, his curve, his circle change is his second best pitch. Let's go to that instead. I mean, it's got the same action as the sinker, but it's off speed. Can he get the strikeout on Nick Gordon? No. And that's going to be a base hit for Nick Gordon. Gets it on to center field, where Brenton Doyle gets it back into second. Now we face Jose Miranda. Can Oviedo start placing his fastball again? There's a good one. 0-2 pitch from Oviedo is a slider left hanging, but Verdugo will be able to get underneath this, and that's out number 2. And this is popped way up to center field. Easy play for Brenton Doyle, though, and that gets us through 6 with Johan Oviedo, but he does give up the solo shot to Jordan Walker that ties the game up. Rogers got a fastball right down the middle. Sends it pretty high and deep to center, and it's over the wall and straight away center field. The deepest part of the ballpark. Brendan Rodgers doesn't care. He saw Jordan Walker's solo shot and said, anything you can do, I can do better. Takes the lead again for the Rockies, 4-3. That also ends the day officially for Kyle Gibson. Now it's Miles Michaelis on the mound, faces Ezequiel Tovar, who homered earlier. Tovar got one to hit again. This is deep to left. Is it back-to-back homers for the Rockies? It's not. It's going to be a double for Ezequiel Tovar. He got all of that one, but it was just a touch short. That is his 31st double on the season. That is good for first on the Rockies. Tovar's having himself a very good day. The last time Basayo had a runner on second, he hit a 2-run shot to right field. Can he do it again? Oh my God, he can. Samuel Basallo deep to left this time. He can hit it either direction, but it's his second 2-run home run of the game and his second home run on the season. 106 off the bat, 466 feet. The rookie in his on-screen debut showing up in a big, big way. Samuel Basallo, I am impressed. It's now 6-3 Colorado, firmly in the lead now as Brenton Doyle's at the plate. Doyle got a good sinker to hit, but pops it softly into right, and that'll finally be the first out in the inning. I want to say every run in this game has potentially come off of a home run, all but maybe one of the Cardinals' runs, as Thompson pushes this into opposite field, and that is a base runner for the Rockies. For the Rockies, at least, all 6 of the runs have come off of home runs. 2 2-run shots from Basallo, a solo shot from Tovar, and a solo shot from Rogers. Verdugo got a meatball at the top of the zone. Pops it up, though, and it's going to be fielded easily by the second baseman. I believe that is Nolan Gorman. There's actually Jose Miranda playing at second right now. I actually don't know where Gorman is. Maybe he's DHing. Here's Nolan Jones. Nolan Jones gets one past the third baseman, and that's going to get a runner on to third, and we're going to send Sterling Thompson to the plate. Can he make it home in time? He can. And it's another run scored for the Colorado Rockies off of a Nolan Jones RBI double. And they'll bring in a new pitcher. It's Cooper Jerpy coming in for the St. Louis Cardinals. He has a .355 average given up against right-handed batters. And who is this at the plate? It's Barry Cohen. And what does he bat? He bats right-handed. Oh my goodness. That was the one. Cohen hits one back up the middle, and that's going to score another run for the Rockies. Barry Cohen, an RBI double of his own, makes it 8-3 Colorado, and now the rally is really on. And we'll bring in Henry Fong to relieve for Johan Oviedo. Swing and a miss on a 98-mile-per-hour cutter. Henry Fong spent the majority of his season down at AAA, where he was a pretty good reliever. Gets his opportunity during September call-ups to show what he's worth. That is a great curveball right on the corner. Swing and a miss on the sliding curve, a slurve, if you will. Tommy Edman, the leadoff man, faces off against Henry Fong. 2 gone here in the 7th. Strike number 1. That is such a perfect cutter. Call that a strike, Blue. Come on. Broken bat. It's going to kill Sterling Thompson. Not quite. He makes the play even with a bat in his face. And that ends the top part of the 7th. We will let Henry Fong continue for now. Left a cutter right down the middle. Luckily, he's got Brenton Doyle in center field, who's right underneath it, out number 1. Swing and a miss on a nasty cutter for Jordan Walker, and that's 2 strikes. Pitcher getting tired. Look at these cut fastballs, by the way. He's painting that corner. And now I think we go off speed, out of the zone, away and low. Will he swing at the curveball? Wow, that was not at all where I wanted it. In fact, that curveball was basically right down the middle. Fong is tired, so this may be the last batter he faces. He does strike out Jordan Walker, though. Just needed an accurate throw from Basallo, and it's done. Let's see if he can get Nolan Gorman. Nolan Gorman is worse against lefty pitchers, I want to say. Uh-oh. Fernandez, a chance to get another one. That is a solo shot for Nolan Gorman. First pitch he sees, a cut fastball, and he bombs it out of here. Lots of homers in this game. I mean, it is Coors Field, but goodness gracious. Now the Rockies only up by 4. Yeah, that cut fastball was right down the middle. He missed his mark. And now I want to bring in Kyle Freeland. Freeland faces Nick Gordon and immediately is going to give up an extra base hit. Verdugo will get this back in quickly, but not in time at second. And look at the Rockies giving up runs with 2 outs. This is just what we do, I guess. Freeland faces Jose Miranda. And this is going to be another base hit for the St. Louis Cardinals. The runner is heading home. Can Verdugo get it there in time? Safe is the call at the plate. And now it's 5-8. That was such a good slider, too, if you saw where that was placed. Just a better piece of hitting. What is up with the Rockies and giving up 2-out rallies? They cannot seem to get out of these situations. Freeland comes in, immediately gives up 2 runs. Should have been another one right there. That was a missed placement on a sinker. Full count with Dylan Carlson on deck. This is definitely the last batter Freeland faces. And Cohen snags that one out of the air. And that will finally get us out of the 8th. So on to the 9th inning. And there is Jalen Beeks coming on to get a save. And we turn to one of our best relievers, Jalen Beeks. He does face Dylan Carlson, who is good against lefties. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Carlson. Swings at the slider, but makes contact. He does get a piece of the cutter. That's going to fall foul, though. And he is going to get a base hit, actually. Verdugo throws on to first. Oh, man. I think if they hustle more in right field, we could really get a 9-3. David Banuelos is at the plate. Tying run is on deck, so his goal would just be to get on base, and he's in an 0-2 hole immediately. Beeks has missed badly on the last couple of pitches, and now it's a full count where he had him down 0-2. And Banuelos is going to pop this one up. Should be an easy play for Basayo. It is. That's the first out. And now a double play would end the game. It's against Tommy Edman, who led the game off with a solo shot. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. And now circle change, low and away. He doesn't offer. Fouls off another circle change. Let's give him another one. In the bottom right corner, fouls it off again. Ooh, how do you lay off that fastball? Full count. Walking Edman would bring the tying run to the plate. It's not gonna matter as Tovar, Rogers, and then Edman. A little bit of hesitation from Rogers means that we don't get the out at first. But there's 2 down. No runner in scoring position for Harold Ramirez. And Beeks get 1 more. Ooh, crazy strike call from the ump. Let's go back to that same spot. I mean, he's probably going to feel like he has to swing at it. That is not the same spot at all. In fact, I think that was right down the middle, Jalen. We've thrown a bunch of heaters. Now we go to the off-speed circle change. That was also right down the middle, Jalen. Chill with that. Finally, a swing and a miss on the circle change. And the Rockies catch a dub over the St. Louis Cardinals. The bats were working today, really for both teams. Lots of home runs here in Coors Field. What else do you expect? Great performance from the catcher Samuel Basayo, who was a trade deadline acquisition. Here's the Rockies box score. Fernandez, the only guy not to get a hit. Jones, Cohen, Rogers, Tovar, and Basayo all had 2. 4 RBIs for Basayo. Tovar and Rogers each with solo homers. And for a while, our only runs came off of home runs. Oviedo gets credit for the win. It was a solid day. 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, 6 innings pitched. 1.2 innings in relief from Fong were decent. Kyle Freeland, I thought, was really bad. Gave up an earned run and was only able to get the 1 out. And then Jalen Beeks, as always, was good. Well, we just had a couple AAA and AA injuries. Our second baseman, Kyle Daughtris, who took over for Amador, who is missing the rest of the season, just tore his ACL. He'll miss the rest of the year and potentially some of the next season, depending on how long that actually takes to heal and if injuries can overlap from year to year. So we are weak at second base right now. And then third baseman, Warming Bernabel, tore his calf and will miss the rest of the year. He wasn't having a great year anyway, but he was improving other than his contact. His power against lefties went up a lot. He was the starter at AA. Part of me thinks maybe we bring up Michael Link to play at AA, but I don't think he is ready. He's only a 51 overall. I think he'd struggle big time even at AA. So because we basically have no second baseman, I'm going to look to sign somebody here. And I like Max Schumann. He's regressing because he's been a free agent all year, but he does have C potential. He's 27 and he can play a little bit of everything. And for what will likely be the final game of the regular season, on screen at least, we'll be doing a player lock with Samuel Basayo, who just yesterday in this world had 2 two-run home runs. Was likely solely responsible for the victory. As Quantrill gets a pitch to Nick Gordon that's popped up. Basayo underneath it. And there's out number 2 in the second. Still 0-0 here in Colorado in the bottom of the third, where we'll see Basayo lead off from the 8 spot. Swing and a miss on the circle change. Corbin Burns is a St. Louis Cardinal. They signed him in the offseason, and he is having an elite year. 2.6 ERA, 1.03 whip, 3.1 WAR, and a 3.7 FIP. I'm thinking that next season it's going to be Basayo and Mejia as the catchers all year, and we will probably have Basayo play every day against righties and Mejia every day against lefties. Basayo, I think, is slightly better against righties than Mejia, as he reaches on an error. What's up with shortstops and allowing me to reach today? Brenton Doyle at the plate, still batting a .345. I know he's only really had about 2 weeks rather in the majors again, as this is not a double play. Doyle too fast, but we are out at second. 1-0 Colorado. Tovar with an RBI sac fly. 2 runners on, 2 outs for Basayo. And I pop this one up to pretty much straightaway center field. It's a really good cutter. And that is another out for Basayo. Randy Arozarena at the plate. Quantrill's pitch is on the way. And that is popped up. Under it is Basayo again. And there you go, the first out. Playing catcher's kind of fun. Gorman with an RBI single. Gordon solo shot. Nootbaar and Gorman all with solo home runs. It's 4-1 St. Louis. The Rockies looking unlikely to take a victory here today. Got Ezekiel Tovar over there on first. He's not slow by any means, so if Basayo could get one into the gap, it could bat him home. Corbin Burns has a nice cut fastball. What does this mean for Drew Romo? With Basayo coming in, I want to say he might be like a year younger. He's already better. He has the same potential. That was a good one to hit. Got a little bit too underneath it looks like. And yeah, a fly out deep to left center. Almost got into the gap. What does it mean for Drew Romo as well that we've got Aiden Bryant in the farm system with a potential? It's only a matter of time until he shows up. Wait. Oh, wait, that's right. My buttons are inverted. I pressed triangle and he threw it to first. I forgot that when I'm on player lock, I play with like the show buttons, meaning that X is second. So I should have been pressing X to throw that to second. But why would triangle be first base? That's weird. Rockies have brought it back a little bit, 5-2 in the bottom of the 9th. So we need Basayo to get on base. Oh my God, what is that? How do I play so well with Basayo just a game ago and now I am sucking? It seems like I play terribly in player locks. Have you noticed? Full count for Basayo. Brenton Doyle on deck. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Out number 2. And that'll probably do it for the Rockies unless Doyle can get a 2-run homer. He cannot. St. Louis takes the series 2-1, and the Rockies fall even further away from 500. So let's simulate through the rest of this regular season and then take a look at stats. How many wins do you think we're going to finish with? My prediction is on 70 even. A win over the Nationals, 2 wins over the Nationals, and then an 0-4 loss, and then a 7-5 win. So we 3-1 the Nationals. We're 67-83. Now we play a very, very good Atlanta Braves team. They beat us in the first game. We win the second game pretty convincingly. Feltner gets a win against Atlanta, and we actually win this series against the Braves. We're 69-84. Maybe 70 wins was lowballing it. But now we play 2 of the best teams in baseball for the rest of our calendar. We play Arizona 97-56, and the Dodgers 95-58. We're going to basically get to decide which of these 2 teams wins the NL West. First game against the Diamondbacks, the Rockies get the dub. Second game against the Diamondbacks, the Rockies get the dub. There's 71 wins on the season. That's 4 in a row. And a series win. So that's 3 series wins in a row for Colorado. And they sweep the Diamondbacks. They can. What is going on in Colorado? Now we're 72-84. The Isotopes finished just a touch over 500, but they did not make the postseason. And our AA team, the Yard Goats, also didn't make the postseason. I would like to stop simulating. I do want to take a look at the minor league stats. So here's how the AAA team did. Benny Montgomery was off to a red hot start. He earned B potential and then fell back down to C at some point. He's honestly a pretty decent prospect, to be honest with you. He has C potential, which is 79, and he's 22. Could be a platoon guy someday, although we're way too deep in the outfield. Didn't have a bad year though. Aaron Schunk, we're not really worried about. He has deep potential. He's not going to make it much further than he's at right now. Michael Toglia is a guy we are worried about, and he had a pretty good season. You know what's crazy is that his stats are not the best. 235, 308, 408. That's not great. 716 OPS, 18 homers. But look at these attribute increases specifically against lefties. Contact against lefties went up by 6. Power against lefties went up by 13. I don't know if I've ever seen that big of an upgrade before. I think next season, Toglia is definitely going to be our backup first baseman. Ariel Amador, before getting injured, was okay. It looks like our AAA team was just not really that good. Raimel Tapia, are you joking? He's up to a 70 overall at age 31. I sent him down. He started the season as a platoon guy at the MLB. Man, oh man, he was killing it as a platoon guy at the MLB. It's just that I needed to free up a 40-man spot, and he was the least likely to get stolen off of waivers. But holy cow, he's playing so well at AAA. Braden Ward was not good. Ryan Ritter was really quite good, but he must have like 60 potential because his overall is actually dropping despite the fact that he had a really good season. Kyle Daughtris was actually pretty good, 276, 355. He improved. He has like middle C potential, so he's not a bad player. It's just that he's already 29. Carson Kelly, we sent down after bringing up Basayo, and he finished the season very strong at AAA, batting a 298 with a 397 OBP, 3 homers. We'll probably look to trade him in the off season. Actually, he just becomes a free agent, so we'll likely just let him walk. Here's where it's really important. I'm very interested in how our pitchers did at AAA. We have a lot of pitching prospects here. Adrian Nunez, I haven't really considered that much of a prospect, but he pitched very well. 3.12 ERA with a 1.27 whip. Quinn Priester, a 3.14 FIP. 1.26 whip, a 3.41 ERA. Very, very good year from Quinn Priester. Satchel Paige was good at AAA. We obviously saw him struggle mightily at the MLB level. A 2.72 FIP is so good though. Manny Nunez was really good, a 2.72 ERA with a 1.16 whip. Chase Dolander actually ended up struggling after being sent back down. It's kind of between him, Paige, and Priester for who is going to be at the MLB next season. And this type of year from Dolander doesn't exactly do him any favors, but he is improving. Sammy Saldana is a guy that I want to say we signed or got in a trade, and he had a good year as a reliever. Louis Varland was fine. Tyler Kinley was really good, but he is regressing so bad. He's 34. They seem to really fall off a cliff at 34 is when regression hits super, super hard, but he played very well. Now, as for AA, Warming Bernabel was not having a good year before going down with injury. Braylon Wimmer was fine. Joe Rizzo was actually really good. Hunter Goodman finished cold but had an excellent year. Vladimir Restituyo was bad. Drew Romo, after getting sent down to AA, probably saved his season. He was horrific at AAA, but AA, he played very well. Brady Allen was fine. Brad Cumbest was actually quite good. Zach Veen was playing terribly before getting injured, unfortunately, although the 320 OBP is still quite good. It's unfortunate that he basically missed out on a full year of development, though, with the torn rotator cuff. And Carlos Pinto was really, really good. Look at that, 306 average, 372 OBP. He is like a 94 potential right fielder for us. So his peak is like the same as Nolan Jones's peak. And he played very well this season. Things you love to see. Grant Levine was also really good. This is his second really good minor league year in a row, actually. He's just not getting a ton of development despite playing well for 2 years in a row. Pitchers at AA. Chris McMahon was pretty mid. Chirac looks like he was okay. 1.32 whip. What is his FIP though? 3.54. That is a very good, respectable season from Chirac. He's up to a 65 overall. He, if you remember, was one of our draft picks from last season. The control is almost up over 50, and then he just kind of needs to work on all of his per 9 stats. His hit per 9 is actually quite good. Ryan Rollison moved around a lot this year. He was bad at AAA and has been fine, it looks like, at AA. Carmen Guerrera has been fine to below average. Doug Nikhazy was a relief pitcher we got in a trade, and he was really good at AA. Fernando Hernandez was bad. He's the closing pitcher at AA. Tom Jenkins was good. Joe Rock was awful. He's actually down to D potential. I don't know if we're going to renew him going into next season. I mean, we might just to fill the space on the team, but because he has a small amount of MLB service time, he is going to need like 750K instead of 70K, so he's much more expensive. Yoendris Gomez was good this season. We also received him in a trade, and Taylor Bowers was like elite. Didn't pitch a lot, spent a lot of his season at AAA, started the year at AA, spent the majority of his season at AAA, and then finished at AA after struggling at AAA. But at AA, God, he played like an absolute genius. 1.46 ERA, 0.61 whip, and a 2.03 FIP. Interestingly, though, his attributes didn't go up a ton. Maybe you don't see super fast improvements from relief pitchers. He could be at the MLB next season, though. I don't think he will be. I'm going to leave him at AAA probably next year. After the Rockies have swept the Diamondbacks, can they sweep the Dodgers? They've actually forced a tie in the division after sweeping Arizona. Both of these teams are guaranteed to make the playoffs. It's really just a matter of who wins the division. They're probably both going to be 100-win teams, and the Rockies keep going. They're red hot. We're going to simulate through. The Rockies beat the Dodgers. That is 6 victories in a row. We'll sim another one. Simulate to the end. We beat the Dodgers again. 7 victories in a row. 74 and 84. Dodgers are 97 and 61 now, a game back of Arizona. Can we sweep the Dodgers? We do. We sweep the Dodgers. What is happening? That is 8 victories in a row. 3 games left on the season. Can we finish by winning out? That's another victory over the Diamondbacks. This is insane. Another victory over the Diamondbacks. That is 10 straight wins to end the season with 1 more game left. Can we win 11 in a row against the Diamondbacks? We're in the 8th. I feel like I have to step into this. Ezequiel Tovar with the chance to give the Rockies a lead and head in the direction of an 11th straight victory to end the year. Kevin Ginkel is on the mound, and Ezequiel Tovar is at the plate. The runners on base are Basayo and Rosario. Basayo not super fast, but Rosario is. 2 balls, 1 strike. Ezequiel Tovar looks at it, 1 inside. So now it is a 3-1 count. Alex Verdugo on deck. Very good against right-handed pitching. Tovar fouls off a fastball, and now the count's full. Ball 4 looked at by Ezequiel Tovar, and the bases are loaded with no one out. And here comes Alex Verdugo. The final game of the regular season. One of these teams is headed to the playoffs. The other one is headed home, but maybe headed home with an 11th straight win. They get the force out at home. They actually double us up. Home and first. That is such a brutal double play. Verdugo has to be so bummed about that. And now they'll bring in Kyle Nelson to face Nolan Jones. This is such a huge at-bat for the prospect of winning for either team. That's a really good slider. 2 balls, 1 strike to Nolan Jones from Kyle Nelson. On its way, called ball number 3, and Barry Cohen is on deck. The count is now full. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The payoff pitch to Nolan Jones is away, and that is ball number 4. And we bring up the rookie, Barry Cohen, for what might be his final at-bat on the season. He could absolutely send us off with a bang. A home run here, it wouldn't guarantee an 11th straight win. The odds would be in our favor for sure. Barry Cohen behind in the count. No balls, 2 strikes. Kyle Nelson. The pitch on its way. And called strike 3 below the zone. That is unfortunate. And they get out of bases loaded with nobody out, no damage done. We fast forward to the top of the 9th. A runner on for Sean Bouchard, facing off against Pete Fairbanks. And that runner on is Brendan Rodgers, which I should actually probably look to pinch run. Is he even going to make that? No way! Oh my God, I should have pinch ran. That would have been safe if that was almost anyone else on the team. Now Bouchard up there by himself. 1 out in the top of the 9th. This is for 11 straight victories for the Colorado Rockies. Bouchard bloops this one into right, and if Rodgers had been safe at second, he'd be at third. And now it's Sterling Thompson, who has been one of the best bats on the team to end the season. Can he be a hero? Man, that is 99 miles per hour. Behind in the count, no balls, 2 strikes to Sterling Thompson. And ooh, that was a hard one not to swing at. 2-2 count, Sterling Thompson. Swing and a miss on a really good fastball that hit 100 on the gun. And for what could be the final at-bat of the Rockies' regular season, it's the rookie catcher Samuel Basallo, and he looks at strike 1. I hit 2 two-run shots with him earlier in the episode. Can I do it again? No balls, 2 strikes after the circle change. Fairbanks with the pitch on the way. It's popped to left, and the win streak dies at 10, and the season is officially over. The Diamondbacks get a dub against the Rockies, but the Rockies do win the series and won 10 straight before this, so I mean, you can't really be that bitter about it. So the Rockies finish the regular season 77-85, almost working their way back to 500. Which after a 51-111 season, I will absolutely take that. The Diamondbacks, by losing that final series to us, cough up the 1 seed and lose it to the Dodgers. They will now be a wild card team. Here's the playoff bracket. On the AL side, it's Houston as the 1 seed, Toronto the 2, Cleveland the 3, Texas the 4, Seattle the 5, and the Angels made it as the 6th seed. Funny that they can make the playoffs now that Shohei Ohtani is gone. And on the NL side, it's the Dodgers, the Phillies, the Cardinals, the Diamondbacks, the Braves, and the Brewers. The NL Rookie of the Year is Barry Cohen. So here are the award winners. Austin Riley wins the MVP. Cy Young winner is Freddie Peralta. Batting title goes to Corbin Carroll. Reliever of the Year is Pete Fairbanks, a guy we just faced off against. Rookie of the Year is Barry Cohen, and the 2nd place winner is Yanquiel Fernandez. So we had the 2 best rookies on the season. Hank Aaron Award goes to Austin Riley. Gold Glove pitcher is Kyle Gibson. Gold Glove catcher is Will Smith. First baseman Spencer Torkelson. Second baseman Bryson Stott. Third baseman Sterling Thompson finished 3rd in Gold Glove voting. Matt Chapman takes it though. Shortstop is Lindor. Tovar was 2nd. Left fielder was Frelick. Verdugo was 3rd. Center fielder Michael Harris the 2nd. Right fielder Fernando Tatis. And the silver slugging DH is Nolan Gorman. Catcher Sean Murphy. First baseman Matt Olson, second baseman Xander Bogaerts, third baseman Austin Riley, shortstop Mookie Betts, outfield Cody Bellinger, Ronald Acuna, and Corbin Carroll. In the AL, I'll scroll through these. Aaron Judge wins MVP. Then it's Hunter Brown as the Cy Young winner. Batting title goes to Yordan Alvarez. Chris Martin is the reliever of the year. Alexis Dominguez is the rookie of the year. Jackson Holiday finishes 2nd. Hank Aaron Award goes to Yordan. Gold Glove pitcher is Michael Wacha. Catcher is Adley Rushman. First baseman Nathaniel Lowe. Tyro Estrada is the second baseman. Michael Garcia is the 3rd. Shortstop is Ha-Sung Kim, who, if you recall, was traded to the Astros. Dalton Varsho is the left fielder. Center fielder is Kevin Kiermaier, who we traded away to the Guardians. Still regressing, but he is an 80 overall now. Looks like he had a pretty good year with the Guardians. George Springer is the right fielder. DH is Alexis Dominguez. Catcher is Yainer Diaz. Vladdy Guerrero is the first baseman, Simeon the second, Ramirez the third, Gunnar Henderson the shortstop, Judge in the outfield, Soto and Yordan Alvarez. And of course, we will learn who the postseason MVP is a little later. So here is how we finished the season stats-wise. Our leader in hits was Brendan Rodgers with 159. Our home run leader was Nolan Jones with 33. Here is how he improved this season. Barry Cohen had 25. Here is how he improved. Plus 10 power against lefties is excellent. Rodgers with 17. His contact against lefties went up by 14 this year. I have so many guys that just mash lefties on this team now. Tovar with 14 home runs. Here is how he improved. Francisco Mejia also had 14 home runs, and he got 5 more contact against lefties. Now 96 contact against lefties. Fernandez had 13 home runs. His power against righties went down a little bit, but otherwise had a solid season. His discipline went up by 7. Ahmed Rosario led the team in average with a 298. Nolan Jones finished the year red hot and ended up with a 295. Sterling Thompson a 292. Doyle finishes with a 286. I mean, it's a small sample size, but hey, I will take a 286 from Brenton Doyle all of the time. Beck with a 281, really good from the rookie. Brendan Rodgers a 273, Mejia a 267, Basallo comes up to a 265 after struggling a little bit. Tovar down to a 257, Cohen a 243, Fernandez also a 243. Verdugo with a 231, and Carson Kelly with a 191. Our leader in OBP was Nolan Jones with a 394, Ahmed Rosario 352, Sterling Thompson a 351, Beck a 334, Rogers a 324, Cohen a 324, Mejia a 323, Fernandez a 314, Doyle a 310, Tovar a 305, Basayo a 300, Verdugo below 300 at 294. Our leader in slugging percentage was Nolan Jones. No surprises there. 550, 455 from Doyle, who evidently played quite well in his time back in the MLB at the end of the season. Ahmed Rosario with a 449, Thompson over 400, Basayo, Cohen, Rogers, Beck, Mejia, and Tovar all over 400. And Kil Fernandez only with a 394. Leader in OPS was Nolan Jones with a 944, Rosario with an 800, and then Thompson, Doyle, Cohen, Beck, Rogers, Basayo, Mejia, Tovar, and Fernandez all with 700 plus OPSs. Verdugo a 643. Jones drew the most walks with 84, Cohen with 63, and Fernandez with 50. Jones also had the most strikeouts, which makes sense because his plate discipline is only 46. Fernandez with 139. His vision is actually a 50, which is getting better. Tovar with 128 and Cohen with 120. Sterling Thompson, the only other guy over 100. Leader in doubles is a four-way tie between Tovar, Thompson, Rogers, and Jones, and Rosario with 31 and Fernandez with 30. Leader in triples was Ahmed Rosario with 9, Fernandez 7, and then Thompson 4. The worst fielder on the team ended up being Jordan Beck, which I wouldn't have expected. He's not a great fielder, but he's not that bad. Sterling Thompson almost won Gold Glove for third baseman and was the second worst fielder on the team. Leader in WAR was Nolan Jones, 5.1, Mejia 3.6, Rogers and Thompson with a 3.5. Man, it makes me not want to get rid of Thompson. He's playing so well suddenly. Look at these attribute upgrades for Sterling Thompson. 10 to contact against righties, 8 against lefties, 6 power against lefties. The guy improved so much this year. Tovar with a 3.2 WAR, Rosario a 2.2, Cohen a 1.8, Basayo a 1.1, which is actually really good. Doyle with a 0.7, Verdugo a 0.3, and Fernandez only a 0.2 WAR. Beck at an even 0, and Carson Kelly, unsurprisingly, a negative 0.4. Brendan Rodgers batted 386 against lefties this season. Look at how good we were against lefties versus righties, by the way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys in the 300s against lefties. Against righties, not one guy in the 300s. 289, 286 are our best against righties. And we do have a number of guys on the team that are a bit better against lefties and a few guys that are way better against lefties, but my goodness, I did not expect it to be that lopsided. Here's how the pitchers did. Our leader in wins was Cal Quantrill. He went 13-8 on the season, 195 innings pitched, finished with a 3.23 ERA, a 1.28 whip, just a quality season from our boy Cal Quantrill. We'll come and look at FIP in a little bit as a group. Johan Oviedo, after moving to a starter, was actually not great. His ERA and whip are not the best, but he was fine. Soroka went 10-15. He had pretty average numbers. Jack Flaherty was bad. Apparently he finished the year hot, but he was not good for us really at all. We signed him for a long time, so I don't know. Do we trade him away maybe in the offseason, or do we keep him around and hope he turns it around? That is now the second season, in fact, third season, fourth season in a row with very, very similar numbers, where it's mid to high 4s in ERA and then a pretty bad whip. Justin Lawrence was a decent reliever, at least in terms of his whip. His ERA is a little high, though. He was the setup guy, so he doesn't have a ton of innings pitched. Loaizaga actually ended up being decent, although it looks like he maybe got slightly worse towards the end of the season as his numbers came up. 1.3 whip, 4.02 ERA, but I mean, these are pretty average numbers. Caleb Ferguson came down to earth a little bit, but my God, the guy was absolutely elite this season. 123.2 innings pitched, 2.18 ERA, and a 1.03 whip. I mean, there's a reason he was our only all-star, and it's because he deserved it. And Jalen Beeks, not much worse, 40 saves on the year, only 52 innings pitched, but that's because he was the closer for the majority of the year. 2.4 ERA, a 1.04 whip, very, very good. I forgot to release Kyle Freeland. It is what it is. He is on contract through the next couple years. We could probably just release him right now and rip off the Band-Aid. He actually didn't have a bad year as a reliever. Gilbreth was actually not good. His ERA is decent at a 3.2, but his whip at a 1.8 is very high. Henry Fong, after being called up in September, was not bad. Chase Dolander was awful, as was Satchel Paige. If we look at who led the team in WAR, it was Ferguson with a 2.1, Quantrill with a 2.1, and Soroka with a 2. Beeks only a 1.0. I'm actually kind of surprised by that. The worst FIP was Paige, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Beeks had the best FIP with a 2.8, Ferguson with a 3.06. Anything below 4 is good. 4 is about average, and then like 4.2 up would be probably slightly below average as far as I'm aware. So Fong was actually pretty good. Gilbreth was good, despite having the high whip. That's a weird season for Lucas Gilbreth. Loizaga had a decent FIP. Soroka with a 4.16 is around average. Quantrill around average. Lawrence a little below average. Freeland below average. Flaherty starting to get into the bad territory. Oviedo bad. Dolander and Page horrendous. Unfortunately, I cannot release Freeland now, so that's something we'll have to do in the offseason, or just keep him as a very, very expensive relief pitcher. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. I do truly appreciate the continued support. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next episode, where we'll do the second off season and get ready for year number 3.